Joins us. You're going to be at Vasani's again. Actually, we just saw the Vasani's.
We saw Vasani all over. Good morning, Mark, by the way.
Yes, good morning, Marcus. Al Holland will be at Tuesday night at Vasani's with Versailles. What kind of show are you putting on?
Actually, it's going to be the Minnesota plus Versailles, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
Pierre and
Troy Nichols.
Okay.
Pierre Harris and Troy Nichols. What we're doing is we're trying to tap out on the male soul groups. So like the OJs.
The Spinners.
The Spinners, the Shylights, things of that nature. But because of recent events, Versailles has been preparing a tribute to divas. And part of the show is a tribute to Donna Summer.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do a salute to Donna Summer as part of the show.
Okay. So it's Minnesota plus...
Minnesota plus Versailles Whitaker.
No, Minnesota plus our own diva. Versailles Whitaker.
The prime diva.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Well, you toured with Versailles for how long?
Versailles and I have been friends since 1981.
Really?
I kid you not. Versailles, Wilson.
She told me she just met you that night backstage when we did the tribute for Dan Toller.
I paid her for that.
Oh, okay.
But and speaking of the Dan Toller benefit, that was one of the greatest times that we've had on a stage. You know, Versailles sings with Dr. Tucci and the Tucci Toller band.
Yeah.
But just being on stage with them, being on stage with Riley and the crew was just an amazing night. Like Riley said earlier, it was a shame that we didn't have a sellout for the event, but we had a great, enthusiastic, appreciative crowd, and you can't beat that.
Without question. Al joins us this morning. You'll be doing Minnesota with a lot of the tributes to the soul artists. That is next Tuesday night at Vasani's. You need to call for a reservation, 629-9191. Call today, because it probably will be sold out like every other musical event that is at Vasani's.
It would be so nice, but the best part about it is that even the folks that have come to see us on previous occasions get something entirely different when they come see us again. And we try to hold on to that because, you know, you don't want to wind your watch at the same time every day.
That's right.
You know, you really don't.
Yeah.
So variety is the spice of life and all that kind of stuff.
Which we were, you know, as we have all these comedians coming to town and we see the comedians all the time, and as they come through, we're happy to see them to have changed their routines.
Oh, sure.
Some of it is standard. And if you haven't seen, like, you know, the Michael Mack faces a rock at the end. No, he didn't cut out Whitney Houston, and he didn't put her in a bathtub. It was just... you know, he just kept timing, but he kept her on the show, and it was fascinating how people responded to it.
Mm-hmm.
And but when they changed their show, when you sing different songs, sometimes as a disc jockey, you know, I hate playing Celebration. I hate doing the chicken dance. I mean,
but that's what people like.
Exactly.
They like that music, and you've heard a billion times. You know, and Al's probably sung. Which song do you sing?
The Platters.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
yeah. The Platter stuff.
Yeah. My Prayer.
Definitely.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
you probably sung that a million times.
Well, everybody can tell that I have a really high-pitched voice.
Yeah, they can.
So
he's not doing a lot of Frankie Valli.
If I had vice grips, I would.
Yeah. Well, you know, I talked to Bobby Hatfield, and before he passed, he was in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him out there, and we were talking. He says, you know, I couldn't sing that Unchained Melody for a couple of years until I started taking those blue pills.
Tightened everything right on up.
Yeah. And he says, it's amazing how you get sick and tired of music, but it's the songs. It's like when, Ricky Nelson sang a song about it, Garden Party.
Garden Party.
When he went to Madison Square Garden, he didn't do any of his old stuff.
Right.
He did all his new stuff, and people hated him.
Got mad.
Well, they wanted to hear the old, just.
But Tommy, as an
but
Tommy, as an entertainer,
I know.
You want to do something different.
You always want to do something different. I tried to do, and I say I tried to do, but the last solo show I did at Vasani, I tried to make it a night of standards.
Yeah.
Sure.
With Sinatra and all that kind of stuff.
Did it work?
Had a great lineup.
Yeah.
Excellent lineup.
Yeah.
But no.
Well, I got past the Rat Pack video and Fly Me to the Moon, and then after that, people started yelling out for platters.
Sure.
So
see, that's what they associate.
No, but see, Tommy, that's what's bad about the business. You want to give them something different because
as an entertainer, you don't want to do the same thing over again. One of the worst things I ever experienced in life was a hotel in Southfield, Michigan that I had played at way back in the day.
Yeah.
The security guard said, you know, the band that comes in before us plays I'll Have the Time of My Life every single night at 9:07.
Oh, really?
At 9:07. So he said, what you need to do is, if you're in the area by 9:05, come in and see what happens. Literally, I was in the area at 9:04, walked into the hotel at 9:07. I'll have the time of my life. And I was on the floor. And at that point, I realized that I never want to do that. I never want to be scheduled with what I do.
Yeah.
I mean, people will hear the same songs because there's the crowd favorites.
Right.
But for the most part, no. You know, you got to do it differently. You got to feel what the people are doing. It's a whole chapter.
And doing one of the things, and you're going to love this story, one of the things that I have now realized that when I go for a wedding meeting with the bride and groom and their mother and fathers or whatever that are there, that I'm older than the mother and father. and that's, yeah, shut up. And they think I'm their mom and dad's age, which is fine. But, you know, well, play songs that my mom and dad listened to. And I says, 70s or 60s, you know?
Right, yeah. The time when I grew up or before my time. Yeah.
The worst thing that happens to me is somebody will come up and say, could you play some rock and roll? And I'll go, okay, what's your definition of rock and roll? Because I'm certainly sure mine's different. Well, what's your definition? I says, I got like doo-wop, early 50s and 60s, that's rock and roll. Elvis Presley was rock and roll. Carl Perkins, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're going, oh, no, Aerosmith.
Oh, they want the heavy metal stuff.
No, it's not heavy. Not even heavy metal.
Okay.
No, and it's not, it's...
I like to call it middle of the road rock because it's not really that edgy kind of stuff, but it's not really the laid back either.
But then, you know, U2 is considered rock. I mean, there's all so much stuff. But as you sing this week, the next Tuesday night, you're going to be singing some different songs, some fun songs.
Yes.
Pierre and Troy are fun to work with because they're doing different stuff for you.
They're great to work with, and I miss working with them because we don't get a chance to do it too often. By the way, if they're listening, good morning, Troy. Good morning, Pierre.
Yeah, and good morning, Versil.
Good morning, Versil. Yeah, I know she's listening. I called her.
Did you?
Yeah.
And when you're doing, and I'm sure, you know, the Celine Dion stuff that she gets requested, the Whitney Houston stuff that she gets requested and everything else, it gets to be a point in time that you just kind of go, okay.
Well, you know, Versil, I haven't gushed enough about Versil, but we did a show of her with the Night of Divas, and it was one of the greatest 90-minute experiences I've ever had. From the moment she walked into the room at the Sonic, and the moment she walked out the door, she had multiple standing ovations. People just loved every minute of it. And the amazing thing is that she doesn't do solo shows by herself too often.
Good morning, you're on the show. Huh? Me? There's a lot of things I won't do, but that's for a different kind of show, Gino. You mean musically? Alternative music, yeah. Heavy, nasty rap I don't do.
Oh.
I just, yeah.
He wrote a lot of it.
I wrote a lot of it, made some money.
He was always the writer.
Yeah.
And he always creates, doesn't he, Ken? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I don't do a lot of unless it's requested, you know? Yeah. Yeah, they hated the song, was it 1975, Rock and Roll Heaven by the Righteous Brothers? And they hated doing it.
Because it wasn't their style, or?
No, I and very not often requested by them.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. Real story. True story.
No kidding.
Yeah. Thanks, Gino. Now, see, here's Tommy playing a traditional Al Holland song. Typical, yeah, I know. And, hey, we'll be back tomorrow. Lovejoy's up next. Charlotte County Speaks. You're listening to Clear Channel's WCCF News Radio 1580 right here in Charlotte County, Punta Gorda, Florida.